Welcome to the Mound City Council. It's Tuesday, January 27th, 6:07. Can we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thanks for bearing with us with our technical difficulties. And we had a workshop right before this. We have our agenda. Do we have any amendments?
There is one amendment. It's just adding some public input to the public hearings in item 7.
Okay, is that council item 3?
It is, well, it's number 7 on the agenda under public hearings, so it's just input that would have otherwise been delivered in person.
Is that this one?
Oh, sorry, that's the title of the document,
Okay,
yes.
council item 3. Okay. So we got that, so we're gonna adopt that into our agenda. Can I get a motion to approve our agenda?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, we got our agenda. We got public comments if someone wants to come up and give us a piece of their mind. Give us your name and address.
Mayor Holt,
Yes.
esteemed council members, thank you for giving me my 3 minutes today.
Yes.
I'm a Minnesotan. I love this place. I grew up in Minnetonka. I moved to Mound 4 years ago. I live in a 3-generation home, and we love the West Tonka area. But I don't love what's going on right now. Standing here before you, and I'm sad that I'm the only one here, I acknowledge that the tactics producing sweeping disruption, mounting injury, and now multiple civilian deaths are failing our state. They're failing our future, they're failing our children, and they're failing my grandchildren. The aggressive and militarized actions of ICE and Border Patrol agents in Minnesota, which have now resulted in multiple fatal shootings, and what I view as murder, are unconscionable. And I unequivocally and publicly condemn the role these agencies have played in this tragedy. I stand for peace. I stand here for my neighbors in Mound who are afraid to leave their homes. I ask you to have a backbone, a compassionate heart, have the perspective that realizes this is our moment. This is a moment for you to be on the right side of the history books. Put that cape of kindness on, please, with a focus on unity rather than division. For the students at Shirley Hills that stop while they're playing on the playground and watch ICE vehicles go by. For the West Tonka students, my grandson, Truth. For the neighbors who are afraid to speak out for fear of retribution, I speak for you. I stand here for you, and I realize what a privilege it is that I have the ability to even be up here. I will continue to show up to the city council meetings and the West Tonka School Board meetings representing all families, as I have done for the last several years. May our shared humanity guide us towards peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay, here none. Presentations, I don't think Weston is here. Doesn't look here. We're gonna skip that. I just emailed them to see if they're on our way or not, but we'll punt that for later. Number 5B, we got S&P ratings, and I think Jesse, you're gonna
Yes,
take this one?
I'm going to take it. Layla is unfortunately under the weather, and just among so far everything on the agenda. This is a good one, though. This is just a report to the council. So, as you'll recall, in November, the council approved going out for bonds for some improvement work for this year. We sold the bonds early this year, and prior to selling bonds, we have to go on a ratings call with S&P. They look at our they look at the books, they talk to us, we do some interviews along with our Ellers consultants, And they basically verify that we're in a good financial position, that we're making good financial decisions, and that we're abiding by good policy. And so we had previously been given a AA plus rating. They reaffirmed that rating. That's, if you see in your packet, that's one below the highest possible rating of AAA, which we'd love to get to, but we're very, very happy with the AA plus. So that is their seal of approval for the city and for the city council's use of public funds. So we just wanted to give everybody that, put it out there for the public to see so they can be reaffirmed that we're taking care of Mound.
Thank you.
That's
Does
great.
council have any comments or questions on that?
No, I'm happy about it.
Very happy about it. Thank you for
Yes.
helping lead the charge.
Yeah, thanks Jesse, and no, I know he's not here anymore, but
Definitely.
actually Maggie and
Leila.
thanks to you as well for the staying on our long-term financial plan, and the council as well. And just in case people don't know this, we're saving money by staying with a high rating. Can't remember the exact numbers, you remember?
No.
Okay, I don't want
But
to
it
quote a
was,
number, but it was a lot.
yeah.
It was thousands of dollars by staying at a higher bond rating, so. Cool.
Correct.
All right, we're gonna go to the next one. Number 6, we got the consent agenda. Does someone want to read through those?
I can do that. All right, consent agenda item 6A through C. A, minutes from the January 13th regular city council meeting. B, approve payment of claims. And C, MCES I&I application.
All right. Got a short one. Anybody have any questions on those, or want to talk about any?
I think we should say what MCES is for people, just for clarification.
Okay.
There's going to be discussion.
Oh, we,
1 through 12.
all right, if there's discussion, then we want to pull it.
Oh, okay, well,
Which is,
So you want to pull that?
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
pull C. So any other questions on A and B? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve consent item A and B?
So moved.
Okay, and a motion from you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Herrick.
Aye.
Councilmember McEnany.
Aye.
Councilmember Pugh.
Aye.
Councilmember Castellano.
aye.
Mayor Holt.
Aye. Okay, so A and B passed, and then C, you want to
Yeah.
just restate what you're,
So I was just asking that we identify what the acronym MCES is, because for transparency.
okay, I see someone come on up to the date.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, if I may, I'll offer up Brian Simmons, Senior City Engineer. Thank you, Sherry. MCES is Met Council Environmental Services. That's who provides our wastewater treatment. And this council resolution is supporting an application for grant funding from them to us because we qualify for their inflow and infiltration program, if that's helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other items on that?
No.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, can I get a motion to approve consent item C?
I don't understand, there's a 4A here, but it's not on our agenda.
It's the wrong number. It's
There is no number.
like a typo. I saw that too.
Well, it's on page 13, it's 4A, which is city council item 4A, recommended action from Colette. Does that fall under the
So that's-
consent agenda, or?
It's B, I think it's supposed to be 6B if I'm not mistaken, but it's the payment of,
Oh, so it should be
Claims.
6B.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
it
got-
says claim.
yeah, and then we added
So
like
it
the
should be
comma for who
6B.
would be kind of responsible for it,
All right.
you know, for the check run, but I think it's supposed to say 6B.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
The content
Sorry,
is
everyone.
right.
It's very confusing. We're looking through a lot of papers and we don't see the documents.
It's
that
our
we're
new
supposed to-
format, yeah, the content is right, the title's wrong.
Right.
Just so everybody knows what's going on, we just changed our
Format.
format of our agenda, and this is our second session on this, and So we're all kind of learning, but anyway, there's a typo. It should have been 6C and it was 4A.
Should have been 6B.
On page
6B.
13, it should say City
6.
Council Item 6B.
Right. Okay. So we good
This is the
on,
check run.
Okay,
so
so
I
it
just
should be
need a motion
6B.
for 6C.
I think we got a motion, but not a second, right?
Oh, did someone do a motion for 6C?
You said motion by you.
Oh, second, for the MCES,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Did you do the first motion?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we got a motion, we got a second.
second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, 6C is passed. All right, number 7, we got public hearings. And we got A, resolution number 2612 approving amendment to the 2040 comp plan for North Point at Halsted Bay. And Rita's coming up.
I'm here.
All right.
Technology's not working,
No,
so I am working through, I will walk through things. I'm not gonna probably maybe go through all the detail I normally do, because I can't graphically show you all that stuff, but that's okay. Let's do what we can, and you can ask questions. I was trying to figure out, is there a graphic in your packet that you guys can at least look at? I think there's a couple, so,
Yeah, I saw some.
well, that's okay. I just, if we could, I just want you to look at it while I'm talking, so at least you're looking at a graphic. I was just gonna pull out,
What kind of graphic are you looking for?
just, I'm moving through my packet.
I remember seeing something.
Let's see.
There we
It
go.
was like a very.
There's a preliminary plat, or preliminary,
There was like a site
You
plan.
did the site plan, right?
Colored rendering, I think,
I'm trying to find what page that's on. 'cause I don't-
towards the end of the original planning report from.
page 128 starts the plans.
Awesome.
What page?
That's the-
128
I just figured
starts
we should
the
start there.
plans.
Yeah, that's probably the best graphic. at least.
128.
What page?
There's a graphic on,
128.
well, on a, you're in your printed form, so. Yeah, 128, if you can get to that. There's at least some graphics in there, and then we're all at least looking at the diagrams. Are we all there before I start talking?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't wanna, I wanna make sure, because it'll be a lot easier if you're looking at a graphic while I'm talking.
It would be.
So, an overview for the project. The properties for this project are located on the south side of Bartlett Boulevard. They have lakefront frontage on Halsted Bay, and they're basically at the western edge of the city. This project actually is split between the city of Minnetrista and the city of Mound. And the applicant is proposing to take 4 properties and to create 8 lots with them, and I'll walk through those a little bit. The project, if you can see on the diagram, is proposed to include a 9-unit condominium building, a 4-unit townhouse building, and then a single-family lot that will be developed by that single-family property owner, and an amenity building. And then, as I referenced just now, this is actually part of a bigger project that also extends into Minnetrista. So on the Minnetrista side, there'll be 45 units across 3 condominium buildings and then 15 single-family homes. The applicant has already received preliminary plat approval and entitlement approvals with Minnetrista. So they did them first, kind of this last summer, fall. They've been working through that. And then they were approaching the city of Mound after that point. So there's 4 requests for you this evening. One is a comprehensive plan amendment, one is a rezoning, one is a plat, and the final one is a conditional use permit. I'm going to briefly overview the first 3. They're fairly straightforward. The conditional use permit is where all of the details are. So I'm going to cover the first 3, and certainly may go back for questions if we have them. So for those of you who may be aware, this project was actually proposed for development a number of years ago. At the time of that development, this property was re-guided in the comprehensive plan to medium-density residential, a portion of this property. So when this project has come through, they've actually added some additional parcels, and in order to make the way that the layout is of this project with the condominium building near Bartlett, and then the rest of the townhouse towards the lake and the single family at the bottom of the hill. We need to just readjust where the guidance is for the comprehensive plan so it matches. Right now, the medium density residential extends from Bartlett all the way to the lake, and we're reconfiguring it so the medium density residential, which would be over where the condominium building is just over them, and then the townhouses and the single family and the amenity building are all part of the low density. So the comprehensive plan amendment is it is just moving around what has already been designated in this area so it matches the plan. The densities proposed for this project are 7.2 units per acre in the medium density, that's what's proposed, and 2.45 in the low density area, and that matches what we have in the comprehensive plan. So that is the comprehensive plan amendment. Planning Commission held a public hearing about that comprehensive plan amendment at their meeting in December. The rezoning, similarly, because of that previous project, the longest parcel that really is abutting the city of Minnetrista has already been rezoned for R3 multiple family, but we need to have the rest of the properties that have now been added to this project also be rezoned to R3 multiple family. So the whole project is going to have the same zoning. So again, we're kind of just finishing off what has already been started with the previous project in order to encompass all of the area that will be part of this project. The reason we're doing R3 is because it allows for more land uses, so the condominium building would be allowed within R3. R3 also allows single family homes, so we can encompass all of the types of housing that are proposed for this project within an R3. One element that we will have, and we have specifically in the resolution, is to note that the house, the single-family home that's proposed right on the lake shore, we're proposing that it would be have to follow R1 district standards when it develops, because all of the properties on either side of it are R1, so we want to make sure it's following those same standards, because that single-family home will be developed independently with that property owner. So that's it on the rezoning part. The preliminary plat, that is just meaning the organization of the lots. There's currently 4 lots across a couple of different owners. The site is 3.29 acres in size, and the plat will reconfigure the lot boundary so that we will end up with 8 lots. One of the lots will be for the condominium building, and then they will go later on and divvy up all of the individual units within the condominium building so that they can sell them. The townhouse will have 1 lot that is the property around the building, and then within the townhouse, each individual unit will be their own lot. The single-family home will be on a lot, and then the amenity building will be on a lot. So that's where we're getting 8 lots, is each individual townhouse is proposed to have its own parcel. So I've now covered 3 out of the 4 requests for you this evening, and as I said at the beginning, the conditional use permit is the most complex of them, because that's when we get into all of the site design details. So I'll do my best to highlight certain elements, and then we may have to have some additional discussion so I can clarify. As you all know, a conditional use permit is used in Mound for plan unit development. This is a shoreland plan unit development. In addition, we also need the CUP because the R3 district requires it for the townhouse and for the condominium building. So the CUP will encompass all of those elements, and it just establishes the dimensional requirements and design standards for the project, and also does some of the uses. I'm going to keep moving because the principal uses is like, the pictures are helpful, but the multi-family residential, the townhouse, and the single-family home are all principal uses. The accessory building is the amenity building. It's a little bit unusual to have a building that stands on its own lot. However, because this is a plan unit development, it makes sense that the amenity building will be on its own lot, and it'll be owned and maintained by the homeowners association. You will note in the packet that we prepared that we did have a few questions, and we wanted to make sure that the city council was aware and there was some discussion about it. The amenity building will have a kitchen, a seating area, restrooms, off-season storage, below-grade areas for storage, and then a patio and a deck area. The applicant is proposing to use it in the short term for use as a sales office until project completion, with hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Long term, it's an amenity building for all of the residents within the development, and the applicant has indicated the HOA agreement would limit the hours of use from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. In the packet, we just noted that staff just wants to make sure that we all have a discussion about that, especially the part about when the amenity building should be available for the development, because if you have to wait till project completion, that's all of the units I just described until all of them are done. And so that may or may not be a concern. It also means that there will be additional traffic that's coming down Bartlett into Halsted into that part of the development for sales purposes. So we just wanted to flag it because it is not something we've done before. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just not something that staff can weigh in on if there's a concern or what we should be thinking about relative to that building. The only other examples we have are sales offices that were done in downtown, but that's a whole different situation than this one. So these are just things that we wanted to point out. Relative to lot sizes and yards, the CUP does allow us to have flexibility, and they are proposing reduced yard areas for all the yards, and there's a reduced area between the townhomes and the condominium building. That is fairly standard and typical for planned unit developments, especially when we're talking within the development. So some of these things are related to where the lot lines are and how their buildings are located within, next to each other. So for example, the rear yard of the condo building is supposed to be 50 feet or so, and they only have 20 feet. But again, that's related to the condo building, related to the townhouse building, which all of those are internal to the site. So that's something that can be accomplished with the CUP process. The townhouse building does meet all of the requirements, and the single-family lot meets all of the requirements as well. The amenity building, we just wanted to note that that's not something that we have standards for, so they are proposing, we do have a standard that says accessory buildings shall not exceed 1,200 square feet with a maximum of 3,000 square feet overall of amenity on a site. Again, we think that's something that can be accomplished within the CUP if you are comfortable with it. The building is proposed to be just under 1,700 square feet. And the only other thing that we'll mention a little bit is just making sure there's adequate screening, because it is sitting between two single-family homes. One that's existing and one that is proposed to be constructed from this development. So staff is mostly, that is one of the major concerns for staff, is that amenity building and making sure that we're not impacting the other neighbors. Because it'll be used by people that aren't living there, they're coming down to use that facility. As you are aware, with shoreline rules, there are density requirements, both from the Metropolitan Council, which I already covered and we're good with, and then also with the shoreline rules and density tiering. This is one of those situations where the density proposed meets the shoreline regulations, so that's not something we have to talk a lot about. But the applicant did do the tiering analysis. We included all of the units on the site because they're all part of the project. So I won't talk more about that. Open space. The shoreline rules require 50%, a minimum of 50% of the site be open or considered open space. They are proposing 59.1%. The big thing I want to note for you is that we had asked the applicant to take out the single-family lot because that lot will be developed independently, and it will be easier for the property owner and for staff, for the city, if that lot can operate independently. It can come in for its own building permits. We would apply the R1 standards. So we want to keep that away from the rest of the development, because the townhouse and the condo building won't have a lot of additional development because that will be part of a homeowners association kind of project. So the only other comment that came through between the December Planning Commission meeting and the January Planning Commission meeting, there was a plan that changed, the landscape plan, and there was a proposal to have a beach and a retaining wall along the shoreline. Staff recommended that that be removed because that doesn't meet the intent of the shoreline rules of having the shore impact preservation zone. So 25 feet back from the shore is supposed to stay in a naturalized state, similar to how it is today. So the staff, there is a condition in the packet in the resolutions that say the beach and the retaining wall would need to be removed. But I want to highlight that so you can consider that as part of the discussion this evening. Building height was one of the elements the Planning Commission expressed concern about. The condo building is proposed to be 3 stories in the front, and it'll look more like 4 stories in the back. Again, the back is what people are going to see that are in the townhouses, and then if you're down at the bottom, behind all of the trees. And so the applicant has made some adjustments. Currently, the proposed height is about 42 feet, just shy of 43 feet for the condominium building. At the request of the Planning Commission, we did ask Minnetrista, and the height is similar to the projects that they had proposed for their condominium buildings. The townhouse building and the amenity building are fine. It's just the condo building is taller than our standard 35 feet. you can make those, allow for that with the PUD process, but it is something that we wanted to call out. Also, from the Planning Commission between December and January, we did verify that both Artesa and Harrison Bay are also taller than 35 feet. That was partly about when they were constructed, but it is also important to just recognize we do have a few taller buildings that have been built recently, and there's different reasons. There is a nice graphic that the applicant prepared between the two meetings that shows kind of what it'll look like from Bartlett Boulevard. And if we need to, I certainly can bring my computer and you can see the graphic.
I
So
kind of
that-
wanted to see that, yeah.
Yeah, well, we can do that. We can pivot, we can figure it out.
Well, that was something too that the planning asked for them to provide, so we could get a visual and see how far removed from the street it was and how the trees kind of
Yeah.
gave it nice cover.
Yeah, the thing to
And-
remember, and you can see it in the plans if you have in front, so the condo building, there's gonna be Bartlett Boulevard, and then there's actually a driveway that's between Bartlett Boulevard and the condo building, so it's not like it's set to the street. There's
Sure.
gonna be other, a roadway, landscaping, before you get to
And I
that
know it's a
building.
little bit more like on the Minnetrista side, it's, like if the height exceeds a little bit, but I know that it's, very much sloping down, and then the Mound side, it isn't quite as much, but I just wanted to see that graphic.
Yep, well, I
So
can.
are we
I can
asking
figure
questions
Yes.
now?
What?
Can we ask questions now?
I don't know. Do we want, depends what the mayor would like, if you want to keep going.
Finish
or-
your,
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So we asked them to
Parking
just
is
perspective drawing.
proposed, meets the city code requirements, and just to note, again, I mentioned the driveway, so access into the condo building, the townhouse, they'll have two ways of getting in and out. So they're not limited to that one driveway, because I know there's a lot of concern about access. But if things are really busy, they would have the opportunity to go back to the existing Halsted Avenue and come that way, because I know that that's a concern. And there are left turn lanes on Bartlett being proposed as part of this to help with stacking, so that people won't be blocking the movement on Bartlett into the development.
This is only Mound.
There is a trail and stairway that connects the condo building to the townhouse building down to the lake. And that's something that we have worked with the applicant about. Stormwater has been something that people have mentioned a number of times. Again, Minnehaha Creek Watershed District is the permitting authority. The applicant is already working with them. The recent information we received prior to the planning commission meeting was that they had additional items that they were being requested. Minnehaha Creek is looking at things like rate control, making sure that we're slowing down the stormwater. They're also asking, there's been comment made about the fact that some of the land north of Bartlett Boulevard drains through this site to the lake. And so Minnehaha Creek is asking them to take that into consideration. So they are working through that part of the process. And as you are aware from other projects, typically the city does their approvals and then Minnehaha Creek does their approvals. And so we are able to condition our approvals on making sure that makes sense. If something has to change materially, then they'll have to come back through and see you again. And then the only other thing I think I needed to mention is, with the last plans, we had the addition of a new swale down by the amenity building, and so engineering still needs to look at that a little bit more, and the landscape architect. It's fine, it's just we want to make sure it makes sense and it works, and so there may be some technical adjustments that have to be made, and we have accounted for that in the resolution, that we would need to do more work with that. That showed up prior to the planning commission meeting, so that's something that, as you revise plans, sometimes those things happen. Landscaping wise, they are planting new trees on the site. There are a few concerns about trees, and our HKGI's landscape architect will be working with the applicant and with the city engineer to make all of that work. Those are some of the technical things that we'll work through, but otherwise they are meeting code requirements. Screening wise, I think I had kind of mentioned that, just a little bit of concern down by the amenity building and next to the parking lot for the amenity building, making sure we're adequately screening both sides of the amenity building from those adjacent neighbors. Right now, it's mostly planned to be landscaping. If you've driven down there, it looks like there's a fence on the single-family property owners, so that's the conversation of fence or screening, or shrubbery, those kinds of things. And then there are a few adjustments that need to be made for lighting, which is it's a technical element. They just need to reduce or change where the lighting is next to the amenity building, again, so that we don't impact the neighboring property owner. And again, from staff's perspective, these are all fairly technical comments, like the screening, the landscaping, the engineering. Those are all things that we can resolve and work with the applicant. Obviously, if you have specific direction, we'd love to know what that is and we can act on that. Some of the things that staff is concerned about is just making sure, obviously, the overall project makes sense, how the amenity building is going to get used so that it's to the best that we can for adjacent Mound residents, and any other elements that you are concerned about. So the applicant did receive comments. The Planning Commission reviewed this in December and in January. And in December, we had a long list of comments from all of the different agencies. There really has been a lot of involvement from Hennepin County, 2 different parts of Hennepin County, Mound Fire, the city engineer, Minnehaha Creek, the DNR area hydrologist, lots of agencies, and the applicant has been working through trying to address all of those. By the time we came to the January meeting, most of the technical reviewers said that we were making progress and we were positively moving to address their comments. So we did put a lot of conditions in the CUP that talk about making sure that the plans meet the fire, the city engineer, the landscape architect, but there weren't any concerns that folks had that were drastically changing the plan. It's trying to make those technical things be achieved. We did receive 2 public comments. One public comment was in your packet, and that is from a neighboring resident who's very concerned, particularly about the stormwater. They asked if the city could delay its final approvals so Minnehaha Creek Watershed District could do their work. They're very concerned about making sure that stormwater is handled adequately. They also mentioned density is inconsistent with the shoreline district. This, as I said before, this is a typical process for us. The density is meeting the shoreline rules and the regulations that we have. But they have a concern about stormwater, and they have been communicating directly with Minnehaha Creek Watershed District as well. We've received multiple correspondences from them to let us know that those comments are happening. So they're aware of the concerns, and that information was in your packet. And then today we received a comment from a neighboring property owner. They are located east of the project. I had a graphic that showed it. It's a little confusing even when I drove out there today to check on it. They are like 2 houses over from the development. So the person who lives immediately east was at the Planning Commission and expressed concern the first time in December. I don't think we saw him in January. And this is the neighbor 2 over that also has a house kind of nearer to the road. And that's the agenda item amendment that you had this evening. And the concerns were light pollution, driveway car headlights, noise pollution, traffic on Bartlett, and obviously concern about Halstead Bay. And I didn't really walk through that. As I think you know, Lake Minnetonka Conservation District are really the ones that determine docks and how many docks, but our understanding that the docks will be limited in terms of what they will be able to have, and there'll be a limit to kind of how the docks need to operate. We have not seen a lot of specific information. We've seen some of the correspondence, but those are some of the things. But again, that's outside of our purview to some degree of doing that. There are docks shown on the plan, 1 dock coming out from the amenity building, and then obviously that single-family home will operate independently, and so they will have their traditional dock rights for being on the lake. So those are the concerns that we've received in terms of public comment. The Planning Commission, as I said, reviewed it at 2 meetings. They had a number of comments, which we summarized in the packet. Then in January, the Planning Commission felt like a lot of the concerns and comments had been addressed, and they recommended approval of all of the applications. To just kind of pull it full circle, just a reminder, this is a public hearing this evening, so we do need to hold a public hearing. That would be on the major subdivision preliminary plat, rezoning, and conditional use permit. And then once you have an opportunity, then we did provide for you resolution and ordinance. So the resolution in your packet, the ordinance is for the rezoning. That's a typical element, is when you do a rezoning, it's an ordinance, not a resolution. So that is in your packet as well. So there's 4 motions that we are requesting this evening, if you should choose to move forward with that. I am happy to answer questions. I can bring my computer over so you can see the graphic, because I know that probably would be helpful. Are there questions I can answer and try and clarify?
Does council have any questions for Reed?
Yes, I do. Okay, the amenity building.
Yes, ma'am.
You said it's going to be used as a sales office.
That is what the applicant
Okay.
is proposing.
So what is the phasing of the development? Is Minnetrista building first, or is Mound building first?
That part we need to ask the applicant about on how they're doing the phasing.
Because I think that would make a big difference on the impact of that building and traffic to the Mound part. I mean, we're the smaller portion, but if we have to endure the traffic of the larger development.
And the amenity building, just a reminder, comes off of the the old Halsted Avenue, and it's tucked back behind at the bottom edge of the Mound side.
Yeah.
Is that the beach house that we're
Yes,
talking
it
about?
has different names on
They
different
keep
plans.
changing the,
Yeah.
So sorry. Thank you for letting me.
Yeah, they're gonna have to build it
For
clarity.
first, yeah. So the amenity building will be built first. What we don't know is if the Mound section of the development or Minnetrist is.
You would have,
The
yes,
next.
I think that would be a great question for the applicant when you have them come up,
Okay.
because I
Then-
can't talk about the phasing.
Then
and
the
what
other
plan
thing
is.
I have, which, when I first got on this council, we had a big dispute in the neighborhood adjacent to here around sewage. Because I think there's a sewer line that runs along the lake shore. And then there's a sump pump station up on Bartlett. And so, do we know how the sewer system,
I
water
can't tell
system?
you how the sewer system is going to run.
Yeah,
I'm
It would just
assuming either Public Works or
yeah.
engineering can talk about those elements.
Because there are a lot of complaints by the neighbors in that neighborhood about stuff.
The sewer actually runs, let me get my bearings, east to west. And it goes behind the homes that are to the east of this property. And we actually feed down to, what's the street name, Halsted Bay?
Halsted
Halsted.
Avenue.
Yeah, Halsted Avenue. So it feeds down there and it actually goes to a Minnetrista lift station.
Oh, it
There's
goes to
no
Minnetrista,
lift
okay.
station up on Bartlett.
Okay,
Okay.
So that's an
Thank you.
agreement we have with them for just a short number of houses.
thank you.
Council have any other questions for Rita?
I guess just a couple, but I don't know if they're necessarily for Rita or for the applicant, but maybe just to say a couple things out loud too. I had a couple things written down that I think the details are in here from the second planning commission meeting, but like I understand that a lot of people were concerned about the conditions are only met if all the other, MCWD is approved as well. So nothing's gonna happen out of order. I was more concerned with was the lighting study finished? Or is that kind of set in stone for the development, or is that kind of ongoing?
The lighting plan?
Yeah,
So what typically happens with the development is that they will select what lighting they're gonna propose, and then there's a photometric study that's done, and it gives us the estimate of how much lighting there will be. So because we identified those issues, they'll be able to go back and either adjust the location of the lights or adjust how they're functioning so that we can have the light be dimmer on that western property boundary. And that's a fairly typical part of the development process. Sometimes we don't even get the lighting plans while we're in this stage. It's something that kind of organically works its way through.
And it
But
looks
we're
like-
gonna require them to meet code.
okay, and it looks like they're doing some work with like a buffer between the property.
Yeah, there's, as I said, on the west side,
Yeah.
there's already a fence there, and then they have some landscaping there. It's fairly tight, but the fence, I don't know fences only last so long as they last, so it depends on how you look at putting a fence versus landscaping and which is better to do for noise or for views. So that's something maybe to ask the applicant. We've not had extensive conversations, unless Sarah has, with the neighbor to the west.
Okay,
I
I guess
don't
I was
think
more
they haven't
concerned with,
come.
I was more concerned with like I think I'm looking at it right, where it's the most east side, like our side,
The most east side?
like, let's see, I'm
So is
trying to
on
get
if you
The
look at the
north
amenity
side.
building, is it to the left of the amenity building or the
Close.
right?
closest to 44.
So that's the amenity building?
Yeah.
You're looking at?
Yeah, like, it looks like that the developer would be doing more than just the minimum as far as screening goes.
We don't
Right.
have a lot of specific requirements, so
Okay.
it's more about making us feel like there's enough screening that's being provided.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions?
I just have a curiosity kind of question. Right now, Halsted Avenue goes into that property, and there's like Ryan, help me out here, it's not really a cul-de-sac, it's a dead-end turnaround, how about that? Right, so this appears that that's gonna change and it'll split out. Now, the property line on Halsted Avenue ends from an Atrista. So if I'm looking at this right, does that property, do we have to sell that little cul-de-sac to them, the developer? Or is that currently part of the property that they've purchased or they're in the process of?
So where that turnaround element is, where it kind of forks,
Yeah, because.
that's actually part of the 6639 property.
So it
Because
is.
the property goes from the lake all the way up
So
to Bartlett.
we don't have to worry about plowing that anymore, right? That'll become their responsibility.
We don't take care of that.
You don't? Okay. So Minnetrista plows to here and then
It'd have to be the
maintains that road,
homeowners
right?
association. Potentially that, because they'll also have to plow the amenity building parking lot.
But it's going to become like a Y here.
Yes, and that's mostly for turnaround purposes.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
I was looking around like, I hope I spoke right. Figured people would override me if I was wrong. It's kind of nice to have everybody here. Normally I'm just answering questions.
I don't have anything else specific, but like when the time comes, I don't want to like jump all over, but I just wanted to see if Sarah or Chief Peterson had any additional comments on anything. I mean, it looks like the fire plan got updated and modified enough, but I just wanted to see if they had additional input before we close the public hearing. That's all I got.
Okay. You
Anything
want
else?
to come around with your?
Yeah, I'll get that set up and
Show and
while
tell.
you're talking, we can pass it. We have not opened the public hearing, you are right. Oh,
After you show us all,
oh, yes, yes, even better. Visual paper aid.
Okay.
Because I can watch. There you go. Is there two of the same or is
I can pass it down.
I know they're still messed up. Okay.
Oh, they are different.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there's the east. That's what I was wondering. I guess it's more concerned about back there. That's just the road.
It looks so flat, because when I drove down there, it's pretty hilly.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I think the miniaturist side is, it's like our side's more flat and the miniaturist goes like.
Well, even our side though, when you come in the road, you go downhill.
It's like it goes like that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I thought it was more of a slope, but
No, and it's in the road down at the bottom, because I remember when I drove down there. This one I was still driving about a year ago, it seems like. I remember when you get to the bottom, you have to be careful, because
Yeah.
the road's real narrow. You can't turn around, is it?
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the grades.
So,
Then you can answer the question.
yeah. All right, the public hearing on North Point at Halsted Bay Land Use and Subdivision application is now open. Anyone present will be given the opportunity to be heard. An official record is being made of what is being said at the hearing. Therefore, persons addressing the council are requested to begin by stating their name and address. Only one person may speak at a time. This is a time for public testimony. No debate is allowed. Your comments should be directed to the city council, and out of respect for everyone, please keep your comments on topic and limit to 3 minutes. If anybody wants to comment, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Appreciate your time tonight. I'm Sheldon Berg with DJR Architecture,
Okay,
333.
well, you're not, are you the applicant?
I am here for the applicant. I'm not the actual applicant.
Okay. I want to hear from the public first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then I'll have you come up in a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks. Anybody else want to come up or no?
Getting your exercise
All right.
tonight.
Hearing none, let's see here. Okay, can I just get a motion to close the public hearing?
well, can't,
the public hearing only. Nobody came up, so I'm gonna close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Okay.
You got a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All right. Can I get a vote to close the public hearing? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, those opposed, all right, so the public hearing is closed. All right, now the applicant, if you want to come up. Or on behalf of the applicant, I should say. Then you give us your name and address.
Sure, thank you. Sheldon Berg with DJR Architecture. Unfortunately, the owner or the applicant is unable, he had a family conflict tonight, but I'm here to answer as many of the questions as I can.
Yeah,
And I am with DJR Architecture, so I'm one of the architects on the project, and have been involved since back in, I think, March, so. Just offhand, I can either wait for questions or answer a couple that I heard as
if-
the discussion was happening.
Yeah.
yeah, let's go around first. Does anybody have anything off the top? Well, I appreciate you sending the picture.
Oh.
I just wrote down some notes. The pictures, and I wish this thing was working. It was very nice to see
Oh.
how this is gonna look as you're coming down the street. In regards to the sales office, do you know how that will work? Will that be
Sure.
built first?
Yep, I can roll through that.
Yeah.
So the first part of the development would be the Mandy Building, and then it presents itself sort of as a place for realtors to meet with prospective buyers, things like that. And then that and the townhouses will probably be the first two elements that were built. And then there'll be some of the activity for the single-family homes on the Mantrissa side, would also be kind of in that front end. So a lot of that would be built, and then as we move forward in time, that's when some of the condo buildings would come online. Because just from a matter of a process, you kind of have to get a kind of a critical mass of people that are wanting to buy into one of the condo buildings before they actually do the construction, so.
Okay, so just to clarify, the closest to the lake on the mountain side, that's where the sales office will be.
Correct.
And there'll be enough parking for
Yep.
people to come and go.
Correct.
For
Right,
sales.
right, and it's, I think a sort of an understanding of what we mean by sales center, it's like a realtor might meet a couple there at 8 o'clock and, you know, or 9 o'clock, whatever, meet them for a half hour, they all go their separate ways. Maybe the realtor stays because he or she has another meeting a little later, but it's not like there's 12 people there waiting to meet with 100, you know,
Right.
potential, you know, it's a pretty incidental.
But don't you
Yes.
think you might get crowds on weekends? The
I think that, you know,
project
potentially there- Yeah,
downtown,
there'll be some ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Certainly,
Minnetonka Flats, didn't they say they had 400 people on the first day of the tour?
The open house.
At the
Yeah,
open
the open
house.
house. Mm.
Um,
So I would hope you guys would do as well.
well, it'd be great if that happened, but try and plan and work around that to make sure that people are arriving and have got the attention they need and as well.
And so that'll happen first, and then you said townhome, so just to clarify, so townhome is on the mound side.
Correct.
There is no townhomes on.
No
Minnetrista
townhomes
side.
on the
Yeah.
Minnetrista side.
So the thought is that they'll work on that first.
Correct,
Maybe sell
exactly.
those out or whatever,
Yep.
and then keep phasing it as
Yes.
the projects keeps
Yeah.
going. And then the condos, there's one 9-unit condo on the mountain side, and then, of course, a few other on the Minnetrista side, but those would be kind of later after the single families, potentially.
Right,
Yeah.
right, most likely.
You're just gonna phase the project, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dock,
Yes.
you're gonna have a dock?
Yes, we will. And we've had a discussion already with the Lake Minnetonka Conservation District about, you know, the criteria or the rules, I
Yeah.
should say, for that. And we're kind of on board with that it allows, I think, with the homeowners association, I think we have up to 4 slips, so.
Okay.
But it's
And you just like rent out the boats or whatever?
Yeah,
Association.
that all's being worked out
Yeah.
right now.
But it looked like one slip on the Mound side, and how many slips on the
yeah, it's
Mound
just-
side?
Well, it's
It's only on
It's
Mound.
one dock
Oh.
with four,
With
potential
four
for
slips,
four.
pardon me,
Yeah.
yes, thank you. Yeah.
I think we kind of covered this with the screening, but it looks like there's screening on maybe the east side. But is there enough screening, I guess, in between, the existing house and the dock house or the?
Right.
The amenity.
So,
yeah.
right, we're adding, obviously some trees and things on the, on that west side for the neighboring property owner that's currently there already.
Yeah,
They also have an existing fence. The applicant has also talked to them about that, and they're gonna cooperatively work on, either improvements or replacing that fence to make sure it's kind of got the screening that they're looking for,
okay.
that separation. And then we're also actively talking with the new homeowner, or that's planning to build a new house on the east side.
Okay. And then stormwater, can you just let
Sure.
us know how that's all going? And then
Right.
with a lot of acres across the street,
Oh,
eventually gonna come
correct,
through.
yep. Yeah, we're working through, I think we're through at least one full round, maybe into the second round with the watershed. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 retention areas on the Minnetrista side. And very lately, we've added a one on the Mound side. And so all those are being sized and coordinated with the watershed on making sure we have both rate and quality considerations taken care of.
And then the beach and retaining wall, there's some verbiage about
Right.
that we're putting in there. Can you just expound on that?
Sure, we will, kind of a little bit later in the process, we are looking at potentially adding some beach area. We've heard there is some resistance to that, and so we're okay pulling that back
Just doing docks only?
and just doing docks and some natural vegetation along there.
The height of the condo?
The height of the condos, yes, it's around, as was said, it's around 42 to 43 feet. But it's also, the nearest point to Bartlett Boulevard is, I think, a little over 100 feet. So it's not like you're downtown and the building's 5 or 10 feet away from you as you're walking down the sidewalk. It's a ways away. And then as you move further west, it's more like 140 or something feet, I think, just from memory. So anyway, and you saw the images that we prepared, so hopefully that gives a good sense of, it kind of gets itself settled within the landscape, and then there's obviously both existing and new trees between the road and the new building.
Okay. And the picture helps. Turn lanes on the county road as you're coming.
Right, yep. So there'll be a new left turn lane that would, through conversation or through recommendations from Hennepin County on Bartlett Boulevard, both at the easternmost, or sort of the Mound entry from Bartlett, as well as at Halsted. New turn lanes on each one.
Okay. And then last question I have is, so there's gonna be a homeowners association. Is there any issues with having that split between two cities per se?
No, I don't think so, because it's really just purely based on building and lot and things like that,
Okay.
so.
Anybody else have other questions for him? All right, thank you.
It's a really nice-looking project, and we're thrilled that you're able to make this work, and
Great, we're very excited.
thanks for
as
listening to
well.
all our
I had a very
requests.
quick question.
Yeah.
With regards to your comments that the amenity building probably will be the first building perhaps in the Mound side.
Right.
With regards to how development works, is the plat is recorded after all the parameters and the components that go into that development are also recorded. Then there's building permits. And so if there's any need for anything ahead of when the plat would get recorded, and when the plat gets recorded, that means you're the owner of the property, et cetera, or folks have consented, that would need to be worked out and acted upon is something what we would call an early start agreement. I also just, and I think I've mentioned this before, in addition to an early start agreement, which again requires financial securities and conditions and insurance and council approval, of course, and a scope of what those activities could be. It's also, I think, very important to reach out to the building official on how that gets evaluated, because is it a certain classification for a community building versus a certain classification for any sort of, if they look at that as a commercial type of a use. So just so we don't forget about that as we move forward. Because when we were talking about the timing of it, that would likely be the first building for us, and that also has to get coordinated with the utilities and also the road as well. So just, again, devil's in the details, but you know, just things that we think about as we're moving forward with following any council action this evening.
Okay.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Very
All right,
good.
thanks again, appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
You want to come back up, Rita?
I just have one comment, question, I haven't figured out how to resolve, but I figured you guys can think about it. So one of my concerns, I'm sure the development will be great and it'll sell off really fast, but we know development takes a really long time. And so the question of how long one should be able to have that amenity building only be used for sales versus use by the property owner. So if I buy a single-family home and I'm the first one in, or I buy a townhouse and it takes 3 years to sell all of that and it's used as a sales building, do we want to have anything in it that says after so much percentage of the sales are finished, you need to convert that over to the property owners? That's been one of my concerns, because it's kind of similar to how park, like a lot of times you have a development and the park takes forever to get built and people don't actually get to use that. So I just wanted to note that that's been one of my concerns. If you don't have a concern, we don't have to, and I don't know if we have to decide upon it tonight. I just wanted to raise that as is that something that we want to be working out between now and the final plat of how that actually looks and what's the language that protects those future property owners, that they get to use that amenity building within a certain time frame of when they're building their house.
Or is that a disclosure? Do they?
Yeah.
I was
Or
gonna
a
say,
disclosure.
I don't think it matters, like, to me, what the timeline is, but as long as they have one for the people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, because that's
Yeah.
been one of my
Yeah.
concerns, because as a planner who works in communities, I know that that's always a frustration, that
Well,
this thing is here, you're gonna see it, you go there, but then you can't actually use it for.
Or they don't pay,
Yeah.
you know, for it until they can use it also.
Yeah, I'm just bringing those things
Yeah.
up as a thought, so we don't have to answer it tonight.
I think we should have something more formally stated, though.
Okay.
Because as he described this, the use of it, they can move that into a condo building. And so I would say when the first condo built in Minnetrista's, then it moves to Minnetrista.
Yeah. And those are details
know?
to me and if the attorney, however we want to phrase it, it's like, I don't know if we have to figure it out tonight, but the idea that before we get to final plat, that we've kind of worked out the details and we know what the development agreement says, the homeowners association documents, and similar to, there was a reference to fixing the fence of the property owner to the west,
Yeah.
but we don't have anything right now in any of the things we prepared that, I don't know how we handle that, but I think more information about that element, because I'd hate to say, we banked on them providing that fence and then it never happens again. We know we're putting an amenity building right next to a single-family home that however many people can use. So those are just concerns for protecting the neighborhood around.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, part of the conditional approval is for the developer to enter into a development agreement with the city. Also, homeowners association documents, which will be reviewed. At that time, staff can work with the applicant, the developer, to come up with a solution that would maybe fit into what Rita is discussing.
And that would be voted on at a later time?
No, that, you don't need a vote. Council can take that, or staff can take that direction, and work with the applicant. We don't need to bring it back to you for approval unless, or I guess the development agreement comes back for
Development
approval.
agreement comes
Oh, yeah,
back
so
with
if
the
the
plans.
association documents wouldn't,
No, that comes.
but the
later.
development agreement would. The question too is where is the proper place to put that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to make that decision as,
Yeah.
you know, if it's approved tonight to the point of plat release, there's gonna be a time period of where we can explore that.
Okay.
And I think from staff's, my perspective as staff is just, I want to hear what, if you don't care about it, then that's great, then we know we don't have to worry about it. If you do, then I want to make sure we're thinking about it and trying to incorporate it in. That's the biggest thing that's helpful for staff as we work through these conversations. And I don't know what it looks like, and the applicant, you know, we have to have those conversations. I'm not trying to be onerous, just
Yeah.
trying to figure out where the right balance is.
Let's hear from him quick,
Yep.
and then I'll have you come back up.
Just a clarifying item, or clarifying comment. The use of the community building as, you know, sort of a sales area, I didn't want to say sales center or something like that, but as a meeting place is temporary and transitional. So once we get either the townhomes or a single-family home up and ready, we can just, we're planning to move into
Yeah.
one of those because that becomes sort of like a little showroom
Right.
for that activity. And so then all the members or the homeowners can then use the amenity building at will. So,
Okay. Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, you want to come back up, or?
If you need me to, I can.
Okay, anybody else have any questions?
No.
Or, let's bring it back to council then.
I know Mr. Castaneda wanted to hear from Sarah and the chief, do you still want to?
Oh,
If
yeah.
there was any additional, you know, comments or last things to add.
He's saying no.
Okay.
He's shaking his head.
I don't want to, you know, not just because.
That means another.
I asked carefully.
If you're good, then no.
Yeah.
We looked at it multiple times, it's all to fire code.
Okay.
Our access roads, everything is good.
Okay. All right, council, do you all want to talk about this? Any comments or concerns?
No.
Okay, hearing none. On page 69, we have resolution number 2612, approving amendment to the 2040 comprehensive plan for North Point at Halsted Bay. If someone wants to make that motion.
I can read it.
Yep,
Make a motion to pass resolution 2612, approving amendment to 2040 comprehensive plan for North Point at Halsted Bay, planning case 2512, PAD 22-117-24, 43-0009, and 22-117-24, 43-0007.
all right, got a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
I heard Eric first.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes. Number 73, we got another, we need a motion on that ordinance.
I can read it.
Okay,
Motion to pass city ordinance 012-2026, amending the Mound official zoning map for North Point at Halsted Bay, 22-117-24, 43-0046, 22-117-24, 43-0028, and 22-117-24, 43-0009.
all right, got a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes. 74, we got another resolution. Can I get a motion on that?
And this is a motion to pass resolution 2613, approving the major subdivision preliminary plat of North Point at Halsted Bay, planning case number 2512, PAD 22-117-24, 43-0046, 0028, 0009, and 0007.
All right, got a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes. And last one 80, page 80, we got another resolution. Someone wants to make that one.
You want a break, Kathy?
You gonna go 4 for 4?
Resolution, a motion to pass Resolution 2614, approving conditional use permit for a shoreland planned unit development, PUD, and multifamily residential and townhouse uses for North Point at Halsted Bay. Planning case number 2512, PIDs, I'll read the first letters and then the 4 following. 22-117, 2443, 0046, 0028, 0009, and 0007.
All right, have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna skip back to 5A quick. Weston showed up. Weston, do you feel comfortable coming up and giving your speech to us? Do you have it, or do you want me to give it to you? All right.
Do you know it by heart? Oh, I thought for a minute you did. I was going to be impressed.
If you want to go in front of the podium there, and then you can put the mic down a little bit, and you can give us your speech there.
Dear Jason Holt, have you ever wondered what it's like to be a mayor for the day? No, I have. I think that a mayor job is to help the community. In my opinion, a mayor should build buildings and make sure we have clean water. If I were a mayor, the first thing I would do is make another hockey rink beyond Thaler. Since hockey is popular in Mound, one positive thing that would happen because of this idea is that there would be more play space to practice and play hockey, so people would get better at it. Another good thing that would happen because of me is because people would be more happy and to play the sport that they like. Plus, there's more space for it. Behind Thaler, I think this would be a beneficial to people living in Mound because they would make a lot more money by hosting tournaments at the new rink. That is why I think I would make a good mayor. If I were mayor, the second thing I would do is clean the drinking water. One good thing that would happen because of my idea is people would be healthy and hydrated. Another positive result that would come about because of this is people would not get sick or think their water looks gross. I think this would make a Mound a better place to live. I think I would be known for cleanest water in the area. These 2 reasons are why I think I would be an excellent mayor for the city. As you can see, based on what I've written on my essay, I would make a great mayor of Mound, Minnesota. I've lived in Mound for 12 years, and I love it here. I'm someone who is smart and confident, and I have good ideas that I would put into action. Therefore, I think I would make a great mayor of the day because I would make my city awesome. Thank you for reading my Mayor of the Day essay.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm gonna give you something, if you want to just hang around. And just so everybody knows, you were selected, there's 3 of you that were selected as top essays out of the whole 6th grade, right?
Yeah.
Out of the whole 6th grade by your principal, so it's a pretty cool honor. I'm gonna give you a certificate here, and we'll take a quick photo if that's okay.
Should we get a picture with the mound in the back?
You made it. Was it hockey?
Thank you.
Jason's got competition.
And you can talk faster.
I was cute. I'll call her on the way home and see what she wants.
Thanks, Rita.
Thanks, Rita.
Thanks,
It's just us.
Mia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mia.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Bye.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Be well.
All right, 9A, we got new business, Mound Volunteer Fire Department Relief Association pension increase. It says Peterson, but whoever wants to do it.
You gotta have one last hurrah.
Is this your last hurrah at the council?
No.
I would think so.
We're gonna make him come back.
You can have your
Yeah,
two.
exactly.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. Great to be here on this beautiful Minnesota night.
Cold day.
For the record, I'm Greg Peterson, a Mound Fire Chief, and this is
Andy Drilling, Assistant Chief and President of the Relief Association.
we're here to ask the council to approve a pension increase for our hardworking staff. We put some information in the packet. The Relief Board just authorized an actuarial study as of 12/31/2025, and our fund is the Relief Fund. Andy's the president of Relief. Of course, I'm the fire chief. We're both on the Relief Board. Our fund is really well funded. Our assets at the end of the year were about $6.5 million per group of 38, and we're requested, and it's actually in its current benefit level, it's overfunded by over $1 million. And so we're asking for a 14.8% increase roughly, which will still leaves us a bit behind our neighbors. We're making good progress. At that rate of $7,100 per year of service, the fund is still going to be overfunded by $326,000, so it's 105% funded. We just think it's a little known fact. Our fire department is always in the top 10% of call volume in the state. You know, we're not a little podunk operation. We serve a number of cities. We think our staff does a good job, and I think they deserve an increase. So I'll let Andy put his 2 cents in. And,
Absolutely. We haven't had an increase since 2022. The way our plan is set up, we have a lump sum benefit and also a monthly benefit option for some folks. Our plan prior to 2018 was only monthly benefit, so we have 35 retirees that are currently collecting a monthly pension, and this will also be an increase for their monthly benefit as well. So that's taking care of our retirees and taking care of our current staff so that they have a better benefit when they retire.
Can you explain, just so everybody knows that, where does this money come from? And I think there's a misconception about like, we're just like giving you money or something, you know?
Correct, yeah, sure. So, in part of every homeowner's insurance premium, 2% of that goes to fire relief associations. And then also we have city contributions from our cities that we contract with that go into that every year. And then we invest that money with a qualified investor. And so the money grows upon itself throughout each year, and then contributions from the cities. So it's the Relief Association's responsibility to manage that money and try and do the best we can for our members. And so, yeah, it's not coming out of the city's budget, and that $6 million isn't part of the city's budget. It's the Relief Association's budget, and it's in a special account called the special fund, and that money can only be used to pay for retirees, so we can't use it for equipment or gatherings or anything like that. It's only for retirement pensions.
Does this have anything to do with the new Fire Joint Powers Act that you've all been working, will this flow into that once that happens, or will it be
What it-
renegotiated?
What it does is it brings our benefit level equal with St. Bonnie's benefit level, which is helpful, so that we're kind of on the same plane. Where we differ is that they are only a lump sum plan and we have both. And so the reason why we have such a large amount in our account and a relatively low benefit is because the monthly plan draws, that liability is, we don't know when those folks are gonna pass, so that liability is kind of open-ended.
Right.
And so we have to have more in the account than maybe a plan or a department that has the lump sum only, because once the person retires, we know that if they retire at 20 years, they're getting this amount, and that's it. Whereas if some of our folks retire at 20 years, they get a monthly, and then that might go on for 20 years, 30 years, 5 years, just depends on how long the person lives.
So this is being proactive.
Right.
Should we end up with
Yeah.
whatever you guys are all negotiating for the joint powers?
Yeah, this is helpful, it's a part of the negotiations that keeps us kind of on a level.
Okay.
It's probably a really good, like, recruiting tool too. I mean, for, like you said, it gets you almost on par with your neighbors, and you don't want to fall behind.
Well, it's getting us close. For example, Excelsior, which serves a similar number of folks that we do, their benefit currently is $10,500 per year of service. And we're at, with this, if you approve this benefit increase, we'll be at $7,100. And even our West Suburban friends that are Maple Plain and Loretto are at $7,500 per year of service. So we're making headway, we're gaining ground. And I would expect that in a couple, 3 years, they're gonna be back here talking to you again, hopefully, depending on how the investments do, but, yeah.
Even if the partnership doesn't proceed, I mean, this is still, I mean, it's really their prerogative, what they wanna do. Now, they still gotta get our vote, right? But it's not our, it's not our money, right? We help fund part of it, the 2% money, these are the other cities that help, but really what it shows is they've done a really good job managing the money.
I agree.
And it's 120% funded, which you've heard stories in the past where unfunded liabilities, right? What we don't want to have happen is it gets too low, and the cutoff usually is what, 70–80% is where you kind of say, okay, hold on, that's not going to work. So if we approve this, we're only going to 105. You're still 5% overfunded, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a no-brainer.
By the way, we wouldn't come if it was 70 or 80, we wouldn't be.
No, right. Yeah. So just, me and Councilmember Pugh have spent a lot of time on this, behind the scenes with you guys. So unless there's any other questions, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
We're proud of our MFD
So
today
just
and
a-
always.
Just a heads up, we're gonna start to do tradition next month. We're gonna bring in some of our new probies and do a swearing in at the council meeting.
Good,
That's what
good.
we're gonna put on the agenda. And we have actually 6 new folks that are, and we added 2 more last night. So we have about 8 new folks that are about a year on. So we're gonna bring them in and stand them up in front of you and, you can take a
Well,
look at them.
We asked
That's
for it,
great.
we get all these updates from the police, but we
Yeah.
don't see you guys. Now, we see you all the
That's
time.
nice.
There's a lot of people that do see us because we had 807 runs last week, so there's a lot of
We're
people
glad
that
to
see us.
Well, we appreciate it, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, so, yeah, you might want to wait a minute here.
We have to vote on it, right?
All right, page 145, can I get a motion to approve?
I can do that. 9A, I'd like to make a motion to approve changes to the Mound Volunteer Fire Department Relief Association pension plan.
Okay, you got a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that passes.
Congratulations. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, everybody.
All right,
Yeah,
see ya.
thank you.
All right, 9B, we got city pole banner discussion.
It's Pauline.
Pauline's gonna take it?
Yeah.
All right, do you wanna come up? Can you give us your name and address?
No, that's Ron.
Hello, my name is Pauline Krebs with Midman Press, 2361 Wilshire Boulevard, Suite A.
All right,
We had sent the graphic in.
unfortunately.
It's not working today?
No.
Okay, all right, that's okay.
Oh, perfect, got printouts.
Just in case, wasn't sure.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trying to share one?
Ryan, you're gonna get to see all kinds of them after you guys get to be pole buddies.
So based on the comments from the last time you saw the designs, we have made these changes to them. And the rectangle at the bottom, that's the dotted white rectangle, that is actually the imprint area. So you can kind of see from banner to banner to banner how it kind of lays and the area that is going to be used for the imprint area. So at this point, I'm just kind of waiting for your approval. And once I have your approval, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll order 2 sets. And we'll take those sets and we'll actually put them up and test the product to make sure, one, it fits. Are there any issues? Is it strong enough? And then from there, we can actually use it as selling tools also.
Good. Where would you put the trial ones?
Probably the main.
Okay.
Yep.
Would you put a logo on that one, or just, would it be blank for now?
We could do either or. It doesn't matter.
Because we wouldn't have, we might not have the first sale yet, right?
No, we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could you put, like, the Mound logo or your logo could be here type
Oh, yes.
verbiage, just so people can get excited when they see it that, I mean, it's some nice real estate in that for company logos, so.
Yes, we could leave it blank. We could put, the City of Mound logo on there. I mean, we could do a lot of different ideas with it, so I'm open to your suggestions.
Do we know of anybody that is in favor of this? We probably maybe want to see a sample that we could.
Well, she's gonna put up
She hasn't sold it. to
a sample, and
anybody
then
Right.
she'll use that for sales to see, hopefully the interest is high.
Right.
Is your company going to do it? I mean, could we use your logo on one of them?
Yeah, we could use ours.
Yep,
She's
we
gonna
can
be,
sample.
you're
Yep.
printing them all,
As a
right?
sample, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yes. And the reason we're doing the sample also, and the reason we want to hang them up, is to make sure that the product actually, see how strong it is it going to last in the wind. So yeah, it's just, again, just because I would hate to, sell a bunch, put them up, and 2 weeks later, they're all down.
But this is like, when one's up, and then say you go to wherever, some business in Mountain, you could say, drive up there, you'll see one, and then the other one you could have in your hand.
Yes.
Got it.
Exactly, yes.
So it's a good
Yep.
sales technique. And then I would say, when you're selling these, say, we've put a generous spot for, the businesses.
Definitely.
Right, versus some of the other cities might
Yeah, we've
not
got a
have
third as opposed to a quarter in a lot of them.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, yeah,
Can I
right.
ask something? I wasn't here for the last meeting. Are we looking to sell contract for a year, 2 years? What's the details?
So it'll be based on the testing
Okay.
and how, if we want to keep them up for a month, a couple of weeks. Then after that, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll start selling them as soon as I have the samples up on the pole band, up on the poles. I can go around and start asking and start selling. And then based on that, typically what we try and do is the same calendar year.
Okay.
So this year it'll be modified and go through December 2026, so that we're prepped for 2027 next year.
So same thing all year long? No, like summer, winter doesn't change?
Doesn't change, nope,
That was-
all year.
That was
wanted
my
to keep
question
it
too, is
easier.
like, how often are they gonna get rotated?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you
Yeah.
were, like, up and down?
Yeah.
Once a year.
Okay.
Once a
then
year, and the
it's-
design can change.
All 4 colors simultaneously, right?
Right.
Okay.
We don't want to do spring plants, so then you're out there every other
No.
3 months, changing them all
No.
out all the time.
Yeah.
We had you in mind.
They're dealing with
We're-
flags and
we're with
everything, and wreaths and,
Yeah, yeah.
I think they look great.
Yeah.
You did a really nice job,
Yeah.
Pauline.
Okay, thank
Good.
you.
Good job. And thanks, Councilmember,
Thank you.
as well.
It's easy to work when she knows how to sell a program, Pauline does.
Oh.
So. I'm just the communicator between us, so thank you, you did a great job.
Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate all the help that you gave us also.
Yeah. Well, any other questions, or are you ready to?
Oh, that'll look great.
Good?
Mhm.
Okay.
We're good?
So 9B, we have page 146. Someone wants to make a motion?
I can do that. I'd like to make a motion to approve final design for pole banners and direct staff to work with Minuteman Press to implement the program.
All right, got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good luck.
Pauline.
Appreciate it.
Let us know how we can help, and you'll probably be in a lot of contact with Ryan as the selling happens.
Yeah. All right, 9C, we got 2026 lead and copper sampling. Yep.
Mayor, council members, I'm Ryan Preach, Public Works Director for the City of Mound. Here to talk to you tonight about 2026 lead and copper sampling water bill credit program I'd like to propose. You did get a note about this that said annual testing. It's actually every 3 years. If we do fail, then you have to go to annual testing. But every 3 years, we do lead and copper water testing at homes throughout the community. In the past, there hasn't been any tier system. It's just go out, get the samples, try to spread it around the city. And as of 2025, MDH came out with a tier system that was imposed by the EPA for the lead and copper testing. The testing is based off of year the home was constructed, service line and interior pipe materials, water treatment equipment within the house, like a water softener, filters. Other requirements for us on the testing side are stagnation periods, the amount of time the water's been sitting in the pipe, time of day the samples are collected, and the proper handling of the collections. Sorry. So with the new tiering system, we have to have a plan of 45 houses pre-approved by MDH before we can do this testing, which we have to do this June. So what we're proposing is a $50 credit. We have an inventory of the homes that we need to propose this to in tier one being the highest risk. And once we get our 45, then we'll turn that into MDH. Anybody who doesn't want to jump on or because of filtration or other things is kicked out of sampling capabilities, we have to document each one of those homes and work our way down the system until we get our, 45 homes. So there is a lot of work here to be done in a short amount of time. We're trying to engage and try to get as many homes to jump in and be willing to do the testing. We're gonna have to do a little bit of field work, go out to the homes, check their plumbing, check, what the service is coming in, go into their house and check all that, and then get them to agree, walk them through what the testing how it will happen, get them to do it the proper way on the proper day, which is sometimes hard too. We found in the past years, while we always have a couple extra, it's really 40, but we do 45 just to cover us. So the the idea is to offer a $50 credit to get them to jump on board to do the testing. So I'm here tonight to ask for their permission to offer those rebates on their water bill.
Are to come up with these tiers, the lead and copper sampling, did that come from the Bolton and Mank letters that they sent out last year?
So unfortunately, they named these things the exact same, but they kind of tie into each other. I mean, the state requires us to get an inventory, and they call it the lead and copper inventory. The lead and copper testing, water testing, we've been doing for decades.
But you know the letter they sent out to all the homeowners? So
Correct.
we
It's a
would
complete different
self-test-
program.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
So you can't rely on
But
their
because of that
testing?
program, now I have more information, so I can easily figure out who fits into what tier.
Great, okay.
But they're two completely different programs.
But that was of use to you?
Yes.
Their program, great.
I think it's a great idea, but how would we like communicate it? What if you get way more people that want to do it and you don't need?
I have a list, I have an inventory based off of years of constructed homes.
Okay,
And
so
I
you
have
can,
to
like,
work my way
monitor.
down that, so I'll probably get a lot of phone calls that says I want $50 off my bill.
Yeah.
But I have to work down that list in order and document each one.
Who's eligible and.
Who's eligible, and then move on to the next one, and
Okay.
if they do participate, great. If they don't, I have to document why, and all that has to go back to MDH to get approved as part of the plan of the 45 houses.
Okay, so it's not gonna be an issue of like, you know, you
You
only
don't get to
needed X.
volunteer in.
Or like, you only needed X amount, but you've got all these people you gotta tell no to or something. and
Yeah.
They wanted money off their bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
You only get to opt in if you get called.
Okay, got it.
Do you get to hand choose your nice residents that you work with too? Out of these 45 homes?
No, I get to go right down that inventory list. They're literally in order, and the inventory MDH already has of our homes. That was part of the other program.
Okay.
So they know when the houses were constructed and what's been already identified, so we have to go through those
So
homes first.
are these homes like constructed before like 1960 or something like that?
So we have some homes that were turn of the century. Yep. And then there are some specifics in the tiering system. Yeah, there's actually a date between 83 and 85 where
Wow.
they call out that timeline because in 83 is when they notified all the plumbers that
They had
lead was
changed.
gonna be,
Yeah,
not be able to be used after 85.
yeah.
So.
And we had a lot of
even
houses
though-
built
Even
before
lead
85.
solder. So the MDH's idea was that since they notified a lot of the plumbers, and between that 83 and 85 timeline, and once they were notified that was ending, they think a lot of plumbers were trying to use up everything they had left.
Yeah, I'm sure they
So
did.
that's why that's the hot ticket time of, we need to check those homes. So they're higher up on that timeline, but we have already identified that there's a handful of lead services and galvanized services in town. So they're considered a tier 1 also.
Any other questions? All right, 9C, page 148. Can I get a motion?
You can do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 2026 copper and lead sampling water bill credit program as presented.
All right, got a motion, can I get a second?
Second?
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passed. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nice work.
All right, hang with me here. This one's, I'm gonna run through all our priorities. So this is 9D. The city council had a workshop a couple weeks ago, and we kind of came up with our priorities. These aren't specifically in order. Partly number one is kind of in order, but there's no real order after that, I guess, on the importance of any of these. But we've met as a council and discussed these items as kind of our 2026 priorities that we want to get done this year. Number one is water treatment facility and water updates. So obviously, we're probably not gonna be able to finish the water treatment plant this year, but again, that's our priority to A, review user fees, scenarios with Ellers in the spring. B, capital request of 15 million to the state legislator. I've been working with our senator and state rep to get that done. We just sent a letter to the governor so that's kind of on his radar as well. C, explore PFA and MDH grant opportunities to reduce costs. D, increase water update frequency on the city website. So when you go on the website, we want to make sure that it's updated constantly. So you're getting the refreshed, updated information. E, like we do every year, at least for the last 3 years, I know, we do a state of the water presentation at our March city council meeting. This will be at the first March city council meeting. So if you're interested in an update on our water as a whole for our city, please come out to that first meeting. On a add-on to this, we are trying to get federal money as well. I just got a call from Senator Klobuchar's staffer, and it was signed by the Senate that we got just a little over $1 million. I think it was 105.7, somewhere in there. But anyway, a little over $1 million. It's still waiting the president's signature. So anyway, congrats to all of us for getting another $1 million, as long as we get one more signature. So hopefully coming. And then just so you know, this is not tied to the bill that they're trying to pass to not shut down the government. So that's a good thing, that it's not tied to that.
We need to pass on thanks to Jesse.
Yes.
To Jesse and Mayor Holt and Public Works, Bolton and Mink, and everybody who's done just yeoman's work on this and lots of legwork, so thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I appreciate that. These aren't easy. It's, you could say, oh, it's only $1 million, but I mean, $1 million's a lot of money. And I know we need a lot of millions to finish this thing, but every million helps. So we're very, very happy. And yes, thanks to everybody involved. Number 2, State of the City Open House. This is kind of a new initiative that we're looking at doing. This is tentative as of right this minute, but hopefully very soon we're gonna probably at our next council meeting approve this to go forward. So April 22nd is the tentative date. So if you're looking at your calendar, maybe cross that off for now. This would be most likely like a 5 to 7, 5 to 8, somewhere in there. Again, we'll fine tune that later, but the purpose of this is to have the council, as well as our city manager, public works, fire, police, some of our city staff, just all kind of get together, give an update on the city as a whole. We'll maybe have a few different speakers. The goal is probably to have it at the fire station in the open bay. We'll move a truck out or two and have seating and tables and maybe a few other things. So we're to be determined, but we're kind of looking at that as an opportunity to reach out to residents. Number 3, we're going to continue to prioritize customer service like we always do, and that's internal and external. We're not here without the residents, obviously. So we want to make sure we're responding to them quickly, as well as staff interactions as well. Number 4, review, amend, and adopt city council and commission policies. A, adopt city council and commission's code of conduct. B, update procurement policy. C, continue to review city policies for necessary updates. 5, focus on Mound park system. A, complete phase 2 of Lost Lake Commons. B, continue to explore Tonka Toys licensing opportunity. C, doing a joint city council and Parks and Open Spaces Committee meeting for February and keep doing that annually. We did that, I think it was April or May last year. We did one meeting. That was our first meeting in probably ever or a very long time that they did a joint meeting with the council and parks. And so I think we got one on the schedule here for February in a couple weeks. So we're gonna kind of meet with them and get a good game plan. D, develop blueprint for parks master plan. E, parks and open spaces to identify depot budget items for 2027 refresh. 6, we have decision on next steps for fire service joint powers agreement. We just talked about the pension part there just a couple minutes ago. But looking through, the contract, if we're gonna move forward, what that looks like, try to get that done this year. Number 7, continue to follow long-term financial management plan. We've been on a plan for a couple of years. It's been working. We just heard from our city manager about the bond rating. That's good. Update the city council in the spring. We do hear from all of our departments in the spring anyway. Kind of almost like a state of the city, but in a council setting. 8 is economic development strategy. A, assessment of sites, redevelopment, vacant sites, et cetera. B, considering reestablishment of the Economic Development Committee. And C, encourage local organizations to explore, to utilize Explore Minnesota. 9, determine scope and blight ordinance. And A, develop more comprehensive blight description. B, joint city council and planning commission, which is scheduled for February 17th. So that's one we've always done, or at least as long as I've been here. We do a joint planning commission meeting, and that's good to kind of get what we're trying to get done for the year and let them kind of get a list to start working on. 10, expand Citizen of the Year promotion. We've done that. We started that 2 years ago, and we just did our second annual in December. We'll have, number 3 this year. Number 11, adopt a rental license program, and that's for rental houses, long-term rentals. 12, explore grant opportunities. A, age-friendly. B, infrastructure. C, parks. 13, identify distribution method for digital newsletter. That's been kind of on the list for a little while. We just got a new website. We want to see if there's any way that we can kind of push out more data faster, quicker, and more digital. 14, event coordination. So A, develop a staffing model. B, utilize community ed for West Tonka. And C, host national night out / Night to Unite, whatever it's called now, at Lost Lake Commons. So kind of the thought behind this whole thing is to use our new Lost Lake Park for more events. That's kind of why we, had it done, and
That's what it's for.
that's what it's for.
It's for events.
So August, we're hoping to do a kind of a big thing there. Maybe we bring, I know the police and fire go out, ride along. I know you've done that before.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun, but we can also invite the public to, to come to our city, August, whatever it is, the first Tuesday in August. Also, I know Councilmember Herrick has kind of taken on some responsibilities of trying to find other events and things that we can do in the park, and I know she's already on that a little bit, so. That's it. That's our 14. That doesn't mean that that's the only 14 things that we're working on, but those are just priorities that we had thought up here. And obviously, usually what we do is we kind of do a mid-year kind of check, how are we doing? Are we kind of getting some of these things done? And then an end of the year check. And a lot of this, obviously, we have one employee, so Jesse, no pressure to get all these done. So. Anybody else want to make comments on priorities lists for 2026? Go ahead.
I don't have the original one in front of me, but we had like 20 items. Do we just kind of consolidate it? There's nothing missing, right?
Yeah, so the idea was that, I was trying to give it a little bit more rhyme or reason.
I like that it's shorter, but I don't want to forget anything.
It was more so, ideally, I think it would be almost departmentalized, if that's a word, And if Layla was here tonight, I think she would speak on a little bit. Our idea was get it approved, obviously, and then put it into a package that is a little more friendly for the user, and then give that as an outward thing for the residents. So the idea would be is, what are our parks of things? What is it city council adjacent? What is it, So, I don't know if we try to do that a little more even for 27, but that was the idea here. So everything that was identified was put in there, but just sort of organized a little differently.
I just have 3 other quick little bullet points, and maybe, I don't know if you guys think we should make any of the changes or not, but for number 3, it doesn't really say anything specific. Should we add, I didn't see on here unless I missed it, the new role that we're adding to help address, the blight and stuff like that.
Well, a lot of that's going to be discussed, I believe, in our priorities workshop with planning.
Okay.
Well,
But I agree, that's kind of the whole point of this, is to identify.
Yeah. Not that we're gonna forget, but I'm just if someone's like, well, what are you working on for customer service? And it just says that we're just prioritizing it, I think we should be happy that we're adding that other position.
You could say add whatever that position's called, right? Yeah, I think that's fine.
Compliance.
Yeah.
That helps the customer service.
It's a good talking point.
Besides the big picture, we just want to make sure that, we're telling the public we're thinking about it.
And then for 5E, and maybe this isn't the right order of how to do things, but do you feel like we need to put an amount for parks to work with too? Because I feel like we talked at the workshop, it's been a couple of years, I keep bringing up the depot, and then we kind of don't really exactly know what we want to do, but for us to all be on the same page, I kind of want to have a good, and this could be at the Parks Joint Meeting, but I feel like we need to just make sure we finally can tell them, I don't want them to come to us with lists of, A, B, or C, and we're like, whoa, 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 or on the other hand, be like, that's all,
But
Well, when I look at this, I see each A through A, B, C, D, E as possible workshops for us to actually sit down and identify,
I guess I'm not prepared to be like, well, how much should we expect to use for budget for the depot? I'll be like, I don't really know,
Yeah, without having discussions of what our expectations are, or what we'd like to do, how can we come up with a budget?
Yeah.
I think we need to,
I think we'll fine tune some of this in the joint meeting.
Okay, last one.
and in workshops.
For 11, that was the residential only, right, with the rental code? Am I understanding that right?
Right, well, it's an encompassing rental code. Any, like the mayor mentioned, long-term rentals, so any,
Okay.
ideally, eventually it will be every rental.
Any 30-day plus rental?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, any other,
Can we add that language, though, long-term rental rather than adopt rental?
Jess, can you?
Adopt long-term rental.
Just update the
Define
verbiage.
it 30 days or more or whatever, just so it doesn't conflict with our.
Right. And I think that's a good, a good comment where, if you and Layla kind of take this list, make it a little bit more digestible, maybe even do like a one-pager and do some graphics. Hey, parks, what are we doing? Blah, 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 financial. And then the other thing I would like to see, because we did this last year and the year before, at least one of them I know, we put this in the newsletter. So the next newsletter should say, maybe we don't have to highlight every little thing, but, here's our big picture of what we're trying to work on as a city.
Right, I think too, you know, when there's an opportunity to expand on these, we certainly can. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself and
Right.
promise something, but I mean, I think anytime you can sort of contextualize some of these, like, to Councilmember Castellano's point, you know, what are we prioritizing? What are we focusing on? I mean, it's a broad statement, so maybe that's something more for the outward presentation of this is, I think adding the context of the new employee and how that sort of plays in. I think the reason maybe I didn't do that was because that's sort of addressed in the blight portion, but I mean, I'd say consider it a moving target, however, you just want to see more. I mean, if we get something put together and you say, hey, could you add on this? I mean, it's a website, we can edit it. So.
Yeah. All right, anything else? All good? All right, so we got 9D, our 2026 city council priority, page 151. Can I get a motion to approve our priorities?
Motion to approve recommended action. 2026 city council priorities.
All right, got a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes. All right.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. We got city, reports from city council members. Councilmember Pugh.
Okay. Well, the big news, it's that the director, Rhonda, at Gillespie has tendered her resignation. She has gotten an offer that she can't refuse. And she has done such a wonderful job in being a part of revitalizing Gillespie Center. So I think, you know, we want to wish her the best in her new career, but boy, it's going to be a big shoes to fill. And so if people have any knowledge or ideas of individuals who could fill that role, I'm sure the Gillespie Board would be welcoming to receiving resumes.
So they're looking to just fill that same role?
Well, we haven't had our board meeting yet, so,
Okay.
but yeah, they would fill it, I'm sure.
Did she do like a 30-day notice, or what did she?
I don't,
Well, she said she'd stay as long as
Yeah.
it takes to get somebody up and
they'd
running.
go,
Awesome.
yeah.
So we could put that on social or, you know, whatever we need to do to help them out, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's wait until we get Rhonda's language.
Yeah.
Right.
So we all have consistent messaging.
Yeah.
Right, and presumably if they post something, we could.
Just share.
We could
share that
post it,
along.
yeah. And so that's about the only thing I did this time. The fire group, we haven't met, but we're going to meet in a week or so, I think.
Yeah, we have it coming up.
The-
I know February.
Yeah.
We have at least one,
Mhm.
if not more.
Yeah, and so that's coming up. So that's it.
All right. Councilmember McEnany?
I went to the MCWD 2027 Management Plan meeting this morning, along with Councilmember Herrick was there, our planning director, Sarah, and our planning commission chair, Mr. Good, was there. It was very well attended.
Okay.
It was very nice breakfast. They did a great presentation highlighting the collaborative efforts, meeting the demands of city planning, initiatives with future water quality desires, and integrating strategic planning initiatives with all the challenges and projections between city, our, 2020, our next city zoning plan, and the plan that they're working on right now. They did showcase a couple of finished successful projects in Victoria and Edina. And the this is for everybody out there, the Board of Managers are seeking those interested in serving on the advisory committee, and they will be appointing committee members in February. The meetings will be every 2 to 3 months from March 2026 through November 2027. And you can go onto their website to pull the advisory committee interest form and fill that out online.
Okay.
And that's all I've got.
All right. Councilmember Castellano?
I don't have anything.
And Councilmember Herrick?
Okay. As you mentioned earlier, I am working on the events. I have been in contact with the Brewfest person. Jesse, I think we're going to try to maybe meet on the 9th. We'll have to get that scheduled. Just to kind of get a heads up and figure out what we can do to assist them and what they need from us and that sort of thing. So I don't have much more on it than that. But I think we're still moving forward. That's always a positive. I've also reached out on the Economic Development Committee, or whatever we decide to call it. I did reach out to one of the candidates that applied for one of the previous commissions, and we had a nice chat, and I think, you know, he had some good ideas, and I think maybe we can move forward with that. I want to go ahead and talk to Jesse a little bit more in detail. We mentioned, kind of talked a little bit before the meeting, to find out exactly what, you know, what is our objective, what's our mission. I think it's slightly different than maybe a traditional economic development, since we are pretty developed out, per se, but it's working very closely with our business partners within the city limits, as well as working with people who would like to come in and set up businesses within our city. So those are all things that we needed to, you know, establish and discuss, and then also try to set up some sort of, you know, mission statement, directive, whatever we want to, you know, do as a council to try to get that up and running. We have had one in the past. My understanding is it was shut down, I don't recall what year.
One time.
Yeah, a long time ago. So, you know, do we want to build it up from that, or do we want to start over? I mean, obviously, this is not an original idea.
Right.
So, and we can leverage some of the information that we can get from Hennepin County, and kind of have different contacts and directives for some people that, you know, may want to come into the area and build out a new business. But yeah, so that's kind of moving forward. Not big progress, but it's moving. I think what else? I went to the Minnehaha Watershed District meeting, as Councilwoman McEnany mentioned. That was interesting and nice. It was really interesting to hear a little bit more about what they're doing. One thing that I did take away with it, and I did talk to Sarah Smith briefly, to maybe see if we can't get some of their attention applied towards Lake Langdon. They are doing quite a bit around the community, not just here in Mound. And they have resources, so I'd like to see maybe what we can't do with that. Lake Langdon, I mean, I live there, and full disclosure, I'm not asking for any special favors or anything, but the lake has been improving slightly, but we do have a water quality problem over there, and there may be things, as Sarah mentioned to me, just very simple things that we could do. And that is a lake that is totally, well, for the most part, encompassed by the city of Mound. Same thing with Dutch Lake. So how do we get the attention of these organizations to help us with, you know, Minnetonka gets a lot of attention,
Right.
but how do we get attention for Dutch Lake and for, you know, Lake Langdon? I'm just familiar with Lake Langdon, so it's easier for me to talk about it, but I know and I'm aware that Dutch Lake could also stand to have some assistance as well, you know.
Do
especially-
either of those lakes flow into the Minnehaha Creek?
So
Yes.
that's the other thing, and full disclosure, I live on Langdon as well.
Yes.
But yes, it does actually flow into Lake Minnetonka.
Tonka.
Yeah, it does.
Which flow, so I'm
Which-
surprised they have ignored these two lakes for as long as they have.
It's because it's not water there yet. You know, it's like Minnetonka has no jurisdiction, LMCD has no jurisdiction over, you know, Langdon and Dutch. But we do contribute, and we're also taking in water from upstream. So I don't know about Dutch Lake. I'm not as familiar with that. I apologize.
Dutch Lake is pretty clean, actually.
Is it?
It's overstocked with fish, though, because no one fishes it, so
Yeah, if you want.
DNR goes and they,
good fishing.
they,
That's a
yeah.
great water
Uh-huh.
scheme.
Well, and that's, you know, that's just it. I know DNR has looked at it multiple times, but, you know, what can we do and work with our partners at the Watershed District?
I just want to caution us, I mean, I think that I would encourage us to do something about the lake, but remember, we voted down the citizen request, which was a majority. You know, there were 129 people who voted for setting up that, what do you call it, the district.
Well, the lid.
Oh, the lid?
Yeah, the lid. And only 22 who didn't, and then there were those who didn't vote. And when you don't vote, it means you don't care. But we took the don't care and put them with the don't like, and we gave them the majority position, and we voted down the lid. So to now come back, I mean, I think we do have an obligation. to do something about the water quality. Well, no, I'm just
This would just be
saying,
finding out what the options are and what Minnehaha Watershed District
well,
could do
the
and help
watershed
us.
district is, you know, I mean, it's all about the water quality.
Correct.
And we do sit on the end of the lake that has the greatest challenge because our lakes are shallower. And so therefore, we don't get the benefits of like Wayzata's Bay and stuff like that. And so, you know, I think it's great that you're bringing it up as something we need to do. But I think sometimes we have to think about what we've done in the past too.
Well, I
You
mean,
know.
they do work with, you know, there are 29 cities
Yeah,
within,
right. Mhm.
within that, you know, Hopkins, Edina.
Sure.
So the amount of work they've done to all of these areas and are initiating right now. They only went through, I think, 3 projects that are
Yeah.
great successes. But I think it's great to just bend their ear.
Well, I think,
and
yeah, just
see
get
if-
us included in the discussions that are, because that's what they're doing. They're creating their planning for 2027.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously, I don't think we'd be ready to have that discussion with them. But for 2028, so on and so forth
Mm-hmm.
down the road, what can we do to, A, get their attention and help us with the water quality? You know, they're funded
Yeah.
through tax dollars and stuff, I assume. So I don't know enough to know, but I mean, I think it's just asking the question. I mean, it could be another resource for us to help, you know, quality of life for the citizens of Mound,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, that's all I've got.
All right. Jess, do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, other than to just mention, the Parks and Open Space joint meeting is the 5th. Then we have a regular meeting on the 10th, and then the joint meeting with planning on the 17th, and then back here again on the 24th for a
So
regular
the
meeting. So-
shortest month, we have a lot of activity.
Correct.
So on the 5th, we are at 6 PM. I won't be late.
So
But
I'm glad we
no-
didn't do 5 then.
No, no workshop on the 10th.
Yes.
Okay.
The 10th is when the information for the state of the city stuff will be coming for unless we want to do it in an open meeting, I assume we kind of wanted to just workshop it, and then we can bring it to a meeting at a later date, but I will send out meeting invites for any and all city council meetings.
Well, when there's
Thanks.
this many, it's helpful. I forgot, I didn't know anything about tonight. So I
We'll,
didn't have it.
Yeah.
That is a good idea to do calendar invites
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
just emailing us, because then we forget to put it on the calendar. Yeah, that's a
a-
good idea.
That's a 2026 priority at a staff level.
There you go.
Okay.
You might want to write that on.
Good job.
All right. My main thing was the federal money, so.
Really
that's-
exciting.
Yeah. Okay, just as well, you just said this, but our next city council meeting is February 10th at 6 here. So number 11, the city council will now go into a closed session to review the performance of its city manager in accordance with Minnesota statute 13D.05 subdivision 3, which states that a public body may close a meeting to evaluate the performance of an individual who is subject to its authority. The public body shall identify the individual to be evaluated prior to closing a meeting. At its next open meeting, the public body shall summarize its conclusion regarding the evaluation. The city council expects to adjourn the meeting following the closed session and will not return to an open session. In accordance with law, a summary of the closed session will be provided at its next regular city council meeting, February 10th, 2026. So I will take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn to closed session.
Okay, motion to adjourn to a closed session.
Okay, and can I get a second?
Second.
And all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? All right, we're adjourned.